even go for you though, as far as like even keeping monitors and shit? I mean, like,
Well, I've been keeping
is this
monitors for like 20 years. I'd say when I was 12, 13, got my first one. Yeah, like, and I was
sick?
volunteering at a pet store when I was really young
Nice.
in seventh grade, so I got like my first Nile monitor, tamed that down, like, and then got other stuff like Timbers. And then I ended up buying that store right out of high school because the owner wanted to sell. So me and my mom put up what we had together. I got some money from the homies too, and we basically put some money up for that little store.
Wow.
Sadly, 2009, 2010 hit, and that was like the really bad economical crash. And so the store, people weren't doing stuff with pets and all that shit like that. Like it was just going downhill for pet stores. So after a good couple
Wow.
years, I basically closed the physical store and was just doing low key stuff. Just flipping stuff, buying things, breeding bugs, keeping monitors. I wasn't really breeding until these last few years. So, I just started with the mangrove monitors thing maybe a few years ago, and I started hatching those out just parthenogenic, not even breeding them. So
Yeah.
I'm
Like
not sure.
on their own, basically.
Yeah, all on their own. So my females would lay, and that's how I have most of my males now. So I took those males that were parthenogenic, and they're different from snakes and geckos and lacerdas or other parthenogenic stuff that we know are essentially all females. The monitor side or the monitor aspect of being parthenogenic, a lot of the offspring end up male. And so the science or the theory to that is that the males then help repopulate that island that they've went to or whatever if there's not another male around. So a
Okay.
lot of these, like a lot of the stuff that I have, aren't major mainland animals. They're more island endemic, and they can possibly go from one island to the next with a hurricane or tsunamis or whatever they have, or just drifting on a log. And essentially, if they were to go to an island, be there by themselves, lay parthenogenic eggs, there would be another male to come around. So I just finished up with that project now, literally days ago. I don't know if you see me posting it, but I have taken the male that I've raised from my very first hatching, bred it back to the mom, and have hatched out my first full clutch. So basically, that project's finished. It proves that parthenogenic males are fertile. A lot of times
Oh,
we haven't proved it yet in science, or a lot of people haven't done it. A lot of people say that I'm one of the first ones to be able to actually complete that whole process.
did you put it on your Instagram?
Yeah, yeah,
It's on
yeah.
your big. Is it this one right here that we're talking about?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So
That's
right,
good
and
shit.
it's essentially just a little mangrove monitor. They come out really tiny. These are Solomon Islands, and these are things that are typically imported for like $100 or less. And
Right.
they're sold for maybe a couple $100. They're one of the harder species to breed, but don't get me wrong, they're still prolifically imported. It's just they follow the lines of a lot of people don't really like them as compared to some of the other highly desired species. These are just they're super flighty, really shy, hard to breed, kind of kill each other, things like that. So they don't make too pleasant of keeping, and they
Right.
shit everywhere too. So it's like, yeah, man.
Bro, I'm noticing these monitors. I mean, you see the bell spaces I'm raising up, and they're fucking bro. They're shit. I had to literally like spray down the whole wall because it was just like it looks like someone fucking sprayed just shit on that whole wall, bro. And I'm like, wow, what the fuck? Like, I can only imagine the way they just fucking press that shit out. And I haven't really seen it, but I'm cleaning it up after them, and I'm like, bro, they're nuts.
Yeah, man. I got to do that every time. Almost every time I pull one out, I got to prepare. So I grab it, and I don't even hold it out, right? I just hold its ass in the cage
Right.
and wait for it to do that initial shit, and then I go ahead and do whatever I do with them. Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so
man.
let me ask you this because my first monitor was a Nile monitor, bro, and his name was Louis, bro. He was awesome. He wasn't awesome, like he was an asshole. Don't get me wrong, but I loved him. I still admired him, But we went through a lot together, me and this guy. Like he never ate in front of me. I had him for 2 years. Never ate in front of me. Refused to eat in front of me the entire time. It was weird as fuck. But I eventually just had to part ways with him because I just couldn't get him to like turn over at all. I felt like it was getting worse. He was making me bleed. whatever. I just knew at that point I was not ready for monitors, so I found a good home from them. But with you, I want to know, like, was it easy for you to turn your monitor into becoming more docile, or like, do you feel like it's true that some, now monitors you just can't get to turn if they're a certain way for so long?
Like, not to, um, they're all individuals, I guess, kind of. You
Right.
want to be really open minded about how you're going to go about it. It'll be either they do come around, and it does take it's instant. Sometimes they just know you're giving them food, and they're not too bad. And then sometimes they can be kind of apprehensive, and they need you to be the better person. You know what I mean? Feeding
Right.
them, give them time, basically take time with them. But then sometimes, man, they'll like, they've been wronged by humans their whole import life to coming to you. They kind of hate life, and so they'll never switch. And they basically are known for that base, having the attitude, and living up to it, right? They really living up to it. But I guess if I've seen dudes that set up their enclosure.
Is that mine or his? Oh, is this my internet or is that his internet? Can anyone comment? Because I feel like we're frozen here. Oh,
having
there
uh
he is. Oh, there you go.
having their setup, not just fully decked out or anything like that, or having a giant enclosure. For me, man, a lot of these small monitors or these really scared monitors, their first initial thing when they are really scared or frightened, right? They just go up. They go up
Right.
until, whether it's a really large monitor, or something medium, or even the little tiny guys, they go up and go hide in somewhere. All of my enclosures, I really don't have floor basking. I mean, sorry, floor basking or floor hides. Everything is elevated, and then the floor is like the cool area, and they can retreat there, but there isn't hollows and stuff like that all buried there. Everything is elevated for me. And then I also have the entrance of the tube facing me. So whenever I open the enclosure and the monitor is hiding in there, or even if I'm just doing shit in the room and the monitor is in there watching me, it essentially, I'm manipulating it and making it feel like it's hiding. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it feels secure. It feels comfortable. And then it still gets to watch do what I'm doing while it's secure. So that really gives it a better sense. And then I go and tongue feed them. And these are the shyest ones. All I
Right.
really do is they get hungry enough. And you might not feed them for like a week or so. And I'm literally just using the tongs, going towards the entrance of the tube or the cork
Right.
log or whatever, and trying to lure them out, or more so just hold it up to them and get them to realize I'm offering food. It's not too bad,
Right.
all that stuff like that. So yeah, man, that's my best recommendation for anybody with shy monitors or really scared, frightened stuff that is so frantic in the enclosure when you come around. The elevated hide really helps, but you got to eliminate everything else in the enclosure because you're subjecting it to that just one or two hides.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, since we're on the subject of, like, kind of taming monitors down, because with my two, man, I'm like, I've never, okay, I can't say never. There was once when I put them in the new enclosure where I had to grab Mac Dre, but for the most part, I don't ever grab the monitor. I let the monitor come out to me. Alice
Yeah.
does. Alice loves doing that. She like deliberately volunteers to want to come out the enclosure. And then you have Mac Dre, who just kind of like sits there and just kind of watches. But if you kind of go to him and you put your hand to him, he slowly just kind of says, "All right, I'm out of here." You know what I mean? But if I wanted to kind of break the mold, like if I wanted to kind of like kind of get him a little bit to do a little bit more, what's
Yeah.
your recommendation on getting him to want to come out versus me having to just grab him? Because I know grabbing him sets him off, and I don't
You
want
could
to do
just,
that. So.
are you luring him onto the ground and stuff, or is the ground
No, no,
still
no
level?
food. I was told it's not good to train with the food. Like I heard
Yeah,
if you
you should train with the food and
okay, so
train with small amounts of food.
all right.
Nothing to go crazy over. Don't get me wrong. Our lace monitors have a crazy feeding response.
Yes, they do. It's very
So
intimidating.
right, what you're trying to do, you don't even, let's say if you don't want to train him with the food, you might as well, when he's out on you, or if you can get him out on you, put him on the floor, so he kind of realizes the floor is no longer lava, you know, and he's like actually able to.
So, dude,
Yeah.
check out. Okay, so check this out. I've gotten him out of the enclosure with food, and he loves it. Like, I know this motherfucker will climb on me, right? Thank you for watching this week's Trap Talk clip. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, drop me a comment. And if you're looking for exclusive, non-release content here on YouTube, you're going to want to go down to the link and join the Trap Talk Patreon family. Once you become a part of the Patreon family, you get a link to the Discord, and then you also get tapped into all unreleased content. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and I'll catch you guys here next week. Cheers!